For decades, fans have speculated about Shania Twain's personal connections and the hidden stories behind her rise to fame. But now, at 60, the iconic singer has finally opened up about a part of her past that few expected her to discuss her connection with legendary musician Ricky Nelson. The revelation is not just about celebrity gossip. It's a deeply personal look at how relationships and life choices shape the woman behind the music. In interviews and rare conversations, Twain has shared details that shed light on her early years, the challenges she faced navigating fame, and the private moments that shaped her perspective on love, trust, and ambition. For fans, this is more than a revelation. It's a glimpse into a side of Shania Twain that has remained largely hidden from the public eye for decades. It's a story of growth, resilience, and the quiet decisions that define a life. What makes this confession so impactful is how candidly Twain reflects on the past. She doesn't frame the story as scandalous or sensational. Instead, she emphasizes understanding, personal growth, and the lessons learned from experiences that were both joyful and complicated. In doing so, she transforms a moment of curiosity into a larger narrative about self-awareness and the realities of life in the spotlight. This revelation also prompts a deeper appreciation for Twain's journey as an artist and a person. It highlights how personal experiences, often hidden from public view, can influence creative expression, professional choices, and emotional resilience. And for fans who have followed her career for decades, it adds a new layer of depth to the music and the woman behind it, Shania. Twain's career has always been defined by her authenticity and her willingness to reveal emotions through music. Behind the spotlight, however, her life has been far more complex than most fans realize. While the world has celebrated her as a powerhouse vocalist and a global superstar, few have known the private experiences that shaped her outlook on love and trust. Her connection with Ricky Nelson, long speculated in tabloids and fan circles, was one of those quiet, formative chapters, an experience that left an enduring mark on her personal and professional life. Twain describes this period as both confusing and enlightening, at a time when she was learning to navigate fame and her own rising ambitions. Encountering someone like Ricky Nelson, someone already established, iconic, and deeply admired, was overwhelming in unexpected ways. The dynamic between them was complicated, shaped by generational differences, public expectations, and the pressures of living in the music industry. Twain has reflected that these interactions taught her lessons about boundaries, self-respect, and the challenges of forming genuine connections in a world where appearances often overshadow reality. What makes her story compelling is the honesty with which she recounts it. Twain doesn't exaggerate or dramatize the connection. She frames it as a formative experience that helped her understand herself better. Fans might expect scandalous details, but instead she emphasizes growth. Her reflections reveal how a relationship or even a brief connection can influence one's approach to love, trust, and personal boundaries. It's a story that resonates far beyond celebrity culture because it touches on universal themes of self-discovery and resilience. The impact of this period also extended to Twain's artistry. Music, she explains, is inseparable from lived experience. The emotional highs and lows, the moments of connection and disconnection, all contributed to the depth and relatability of her songwriting. Encounters with figures like Ricky Nelson offered her insights into emotion, maturity, and the complexity of human relationships. Listeners who have admired her lyrics for their sincerity might now understand that some of that emotional depth comes from experiences kept private for decades. Twain has often emphasized that her story isn't about assigning blame or reliving regrets. Instead, it's about understanding the subtleties of human interaction and the ways people influence each other's lives. She reflects on how even fleeting relationships can illuminate personal values, priorities, and emotional needs. In the case of her connection with Nelson, it wasn't just the admiration or fascination. It was the learning that came from navigating expectations, managing emotions, and balancing personal ambition with heartfelt connection. Perhaps most striking is the way Twain balances nostalgia with realism. She doesn't idealize the past, nor does she dwell on disappointment. Instead, she presents it as a chapter in her life that contributed to her growth. This perspective allows fans to see her not just as a superstar, but as a person who navigated complex relationships, made difficult decisions, and emerged with greater self-awareness. The honesty in her account reinforces the idea that even public figures have private struggles, and that personal growth often occurs away from the cameras and headlines. Finally, Twain's reflections on this connection highlight a broader theme: the importance of understanding oneself before seeking fulfillment in others. Her experience with Ricky Nelson, while unique in its circumstances, offers a universal lesson about self-discovery, boundaries, and emotional maturity. It reminds audiences that life's most meaningful lessons often come from moments that are unseen, unreported, and deeply personal. In sharing this story, Twain allows her fans not only to glimpse her past, but to learn from it alongside her. Beyond the initial impressions, Shania Twain reflects on how her interactions with Ricky Nelson shaped her understanding of trust and emotional honesty. In her early years, navigating the music industry was already a challenge. Fame, scrutiny, and constant public attention made it difficult to discern who truly had her best interests at heart. In this context, her connection with Nelson provided lessons that went beyond admiration or celebrity fascination. It highlighted the importance of discerning genuine intentions and learning to protect one's emotional well-being. Twain often recalls that she entered the situation with curiosity and admiration. Ricky Nelson represented an era of music she deeply respected, and his presence carried a sense of history and gravitas. Yet, alongside that admiration came the realization that connection requires balance. It wasn't enough to be captivated by someone else's charisma. She needed to maintain her sense of self. This delicate interplay between attraction and self-preservation became a recurring theme in her reflections. Her experience also emphasized patience and timing in relationships. Twain notes that meaningful connections often unfold slowly, and understanding another person fully requires observing not just words, but actions and intentions over time. The interaction with Nelson, she explains, taught her to be attentive to subtleties and to honor her own instincts when navigating personal and professional relationships. In hindsight, these lessons contributed to the confidence and discernment she applies to her life today. Emotionally, Twain describes the period as a mixture of fascination and introspection. The connection sparked reflection on her personal values and what she wanted from relationships moving forward. She realized that admiration or excitement, while compelling, could not substitute for compatibility, trust, or emotional safety. These insights, learned quietly and often without fanfare, informed her approach to subsequent relationships, both personal and professional. This chapter of her life also reinforced the significance of maintaining boundaries. Twain highlights how the public often assumes celebrity lives are transparent, when in reality much of the emotional processing occurs in private. Her reflections on Nelson show that respecting oneself and setting boundaries are critical for emotional health. By navigating this relationship thoughtfully, she discovered the importance of protecting her autonomy while still engaging meaningfully with others. Twain's reflections extend beyond personal experience. They resonate with universal themes. Many people, regardless of celebrity status, encounter relationships where admiration and attraction must be balanced with self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Her story illustrates that the lessons gained from early experiences can shape not only personal growth but also creative expression. Music, as Twain emphasizes, is inseparable from the emotions and insights gathered over a lifetime. And experiences like these subtly inform artistry and authenticity. Finally, Twain underscores that her story is not one of regret or scandal, but of growth. She acknowledges the past with honesty, showing that formative connections, no matter how fleeting, can leave lasting impressions that shape character, choices, and understanding. By sharing these reflections, Twain offers fans a rare glimpse into the private moments that helped build her resilience, empathy, and emotional depth. It is a reminder that personal evolution often occurs quietly, behind the scenes, and that understanding oneself is as critical as navigating relationships with others. As Shania Twain continued to reflect on her past, she emphasizes the connection with Ricky Nelson not as a fleeting celebrity encounter, but as a pivotal moment in her emotional growth. This period in her life, she explains, taught her how admiration and personal boundaries must coexist. Early experiences like these provided a framework for understanding herself, shaping her approach to relationships. and influencing how she navigated the intense pressures of fame. Twain's reflections also highlight how these personal experiences influenced her creative journey. Music has always been an outlet for expressing emotion and prose. Confusion and self-reflection. Experiencing admiration and intrigue, alongside the necessity of protecting herself, provided a blueprint for emotional resilience. She learned to recognize red flags, value her instincts, and understand that true connection requires both vulnerability and discernment. These lessons became tools not only for personal relationships but also for sustaining her well-being in the high-pressure entertainment industry. Twain also reflects on the importance of perspective. In hindsight, she sees that many of the emotions and challenges she faced were part of a larger process of self-discovery. The connection with Nelson was neither perfect nor flawed, it simply existed as a formative experience. By framing it this way, she communicates a sense of acceptance, showing fans that personal growth often arises from understanding experiences without judgment, rather than seeking to control or perfect them. The experience also reinforced the value of patience. Twain explains that meaningful emotional insight does not always come immediately. Some lessons unfold gradually, revealing themselves through reflection over years. This awareness has informed not only her personal choices, but also her professional approach, allowing her to navigate fame with a sense of balance and self-awareness that is rare in the entertainment industry. Another important takeaway Twain shares is the distinction between public perception and private reality. While fans may have speculated about her connection with Nelson for decades, she points out that the most significant aspects of such experiences are internal, the lessons learned, the self-reflection, and the growth that occurs quietly. By sharing her story now, she offers a glimpse into this private side, allowing fans to see how foundational experiences influence both life and art, often in ways that are not immediately visible. Finally, Twain highlights that the connection, while deeply personal, has lasting resonance. It shaped her understanding of love, trust, and emotional boundaries, and it indirectly influenced her artistry and public persona. The experience demonstrates that personal growth and creative depth often emerge from moments that are unseen, nuanced, and reflective. For Twain, this connection was not about celebrity intrigue. It was about understanding herself, learning to navigate relationships wisely, and integrating those lessons into a lifetime of both personal and professional achievements. In the final reflections, Shania Twain emphasizes that her connection with Ricky Nelson, while a part of her past, has left lasting lessons that extend beyond any single relationship. She frames it as an experience that taught her the importance of emotional clarity, patience, and self-respect. These lessons, she explains, have informed every aspect of her life since, from personal relationships to creative endeavors, and even her approach to navigating the pressures of fame. Twain also reflects on how the experience deepened her understanding of human connection. She realized that admiration and affection alone cannot sustain meaningful relationships. Emotional safety, mutual respect, and shared values are equally critical. Learning to recognize and honor these factors early in life allowed her to approach subsequent relationships with more confidence and self-awareness. It also helped her develop the resilience needed to balance personal vulnerability with the demands of a high-profile career. Her insights extend naturally into her music. Twain has always used her songs to convey emotion, but now fans can understand that the depth in her lyrics often stems from real-life experiences, including ones she kept private for decades. The subtle lessons learned from her time with Nelson about love, boundaries, and self-discovery have informed the authenticity and relatability that define her work. For listeners, this adds a layer of emotional richness to her catalog, showing that her artistry is inseparable from her personal journey. Twain also addresses the broader implications of her story, particularly for those navigating complex relationships. She emphasizes that personal growth often emerges from moments of reflection, patience, and self-examination. Even experiences that seem ordinary at the time can leave profound, long-lasting effects on character and perspective. Her connection with Nelson, though often discussed publicly as a point of intrigue, is primarily a story about learning, maturity, and the quiet shaping of personal values. Another significant aspect of Twain's reflections is the role of timing. She notes that understanding and perspective often come later, after years of reflection and life experience. What might seem confusing, overwhelming, or even disappointing in the moment can later provide clarity and insight. This awareness has allowed Twain to approach her own life with empathy, fifth ear, both for herself and for others, and to appreciate the cumulative value of experience, even when it unfolds quietly. Twain also highlights the distinction between public curiosity and personal truth. While fans have long speculated about her connections with other celebrities, she points out that the most meaningful aspects of these experiences are internal. The private lessons, self-awareness, and emotional growth often go unseen, yet they shape who she is today. By sharing her reflections now, she offers fans a rare window into the human side of her journey, one defined not by rumor, but by insight, resilience, and self-discovery. In conclusion, Shania Twain's story about her connection with Ricky Nelson is less about celebrity intrigue and more about personal evolution. It is a narrative of learning to navigate emotions, understanding the importance of boundaries, and integrating life's lessons into both personal growth and creative expression. For fans, it serves as a reminder that even behind the glitz of fame, there are quiet, formative experiences that shape character, perspective, and artistry. By opening up, Twain not only shares a piece of her past, but also imparts universal insights about trust, resilience, and the value of understanding oneself before seeking fulfillment elsewhere. This reflection completes a chapter of her life that has remained largely private for decades, showing that personal growth often occurs away from public scrutiny. For Shania Twain, the connection with Ricky Nelson was not a headline, it was a lesson, a mirror, and a guide. And for those listening now, it is an invitation to reflect on their own journeys, the unseen lessons in their lives, and the quiet moments that ultimately define who we become.